There you go. Tell me. Can you hear me? No? Yeah? Can you hear me?
Hey, stop!
Is it okay?
This one's doing the same thing.
Is it? That's weird. Yeah, so it's something, it must be something on,
Okay.
Turn up the volume. Hold on.
Stop.
Hang on. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, it's working.
Everything is on. Everything is on. Hold on. Fuck. Fuck. The speaker's on.
Boo, boo, boo. And start. Okay. Whoop. Okay, let's see. All right. Maybe. Okay. What about now? Let's see. What about now?
There. Hi.
There you go. So it's something on over there that it was blocking it, and it just had to refresh it. You never know what's going on, if there's like an update, if there's anything tiny, like it kicks, there's all these stupid updates on computers all the time. Every single day mine does one, and it throws my software off. So I have to go through and unblock all this crap. It's just so much layers of technology that it gets very,
We did
very
the whole
annoying.
mic, everything beforehand to make sure we could.
I know y'all are great. That's why I don't get upset about it. I probably have that maybe once a week from people. So usually I walk them through, but since I don't have, since I don't have your computer in front of me and I'm not a software engineer, I don't know all the things, but I can tell you what I've seen, right?
Well, then what do we need to do now?
Well, you just hang out and have a good time.
Okay.
Breathe. Hey, come over here. Woosah with me. What do you mean? Hey, let's do it together. You ready? Breathe in. Let it go.
Sorry.
Why are you sorry about? Don't be sorry. You're nervous. You're excited. You don't want to be wrong.
I had this done with my wife, with you, and she's waited a year, and then I feel like it's my fault.
No, nothing is ever your fault. Don't ever put that on you. Yeah, don't ever put that on you. I was willing, if it, I just let my person know. I was like, let the other people there. So don't worry about it. Are you ready?
Yes.
Don't sweat the small stuff. That's what I say. If you're not
She's
dying,
way more upset than I am.
Well, it's okay. Do you know why? Because she loves you.
I know.
And she wants
more
it
than
to be
I deserve.
perfect. Oh, no. We all deserve that type of love. And so that's what it is. And so you can see it, you can feel it, you can understand it. And some people, when I sit here and I'm quiet, people are like, you're not, I'm like, no, you can feel it. You quiet it down. So the feeling is all there. So with that being said, welcome in. I get it. I'm glad we're able to talk. I want to kind of go over a little bit on how I do this, right? And what I do. We have 30 minutes. Let me actually message they were, let them know I'll be there at 8:40. Okay, there we go. So I want to tell you a little bit about how I do this. So first off, it's just gonna be me.
Okay.
I'm going to have this fun little pen. Obviously, some people are like, is anybody else going to come in? So I'm going to have this pen. I'm just going to chew on it. I'm also going to have this notepad. All I do is scribble the entire time. It just kind of allows my body to do one thing while my brain is out in la la land doing something else. The next thing is whenever you channel, right? How does that work? So it depends on, a couple of things. What we're doing is we're asking a spirit of somebody that probably has never been channeled before, mostly. And we are saying, hey, I want you to come into the physical. and I want you to come and hang out in her body, and I want you to use her thoughts, her feelings, her emotions, her signs and symbols, and I want you to give all the information properly. That way she understands it and they get it too. You see?
Okay.
So yeah, so it's very intense. And so what will end up happening is they don't have vocal cords anymore. So then how do they talk? Number one, they talk in signs and symbols. So sometimes what they'll do is they will show like a white balloon for me. That means anniversary. Another one is they'll show a colorful balloon. That means birthday. Another thing is they'll show me a Hershey's chocolate bar, and that means they're from Pennsylvania. And they'll put all those in line. That will give meaning to it. And that's very fun. The next one is they'll do feelings and emotions. Dying alone at home feels a lot different than getting murdered on the street. Like, that is a feeling, and it will come through, and I just have to realize, oh, that's what that means. The next one is that they will try to put me in different situations that either they've been through or you've been through or they will go through or you will go through. It's this whole thing. And so remember too that I haven't been everywhere in the entire world. Sorry, I'm moving all my screens around. I haven't been everywhere in the world. And so sometimes I'll just describe to you the place. It's not going to be like, oh, Birmingham, Alabama. It's going to be like, well, I think this is in the piney woods, like left of the Mississippi, you know, like stuff like that. That's just how it is. And then the last one, which is my personal favorite, is that I will get words and phrases. They will just boop-bop into my head, and I got to tell you what they are. Those are my favorite because they are the clearest, and yeah. And today's been a really, really good session day. So I think we're going to have a really good time. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my what do you call this? My music on in my headphones, and let's get into it. So I'm listening to the Gladiator soundtrack. It's always a good one. You just have something in the background, so that way when a car drives by or my cat mews at the door, my attention doesn't go, what is that? It has to stay here. If you have any questions during this whole thing, ask me. I'm going to be looking at this wonderful light over here the entire time with a very blank face on. And it's because I'm trying to understand how they're talking. And the last thing is all I really need you to do at first is tell me, hell yeah, that makes sense, or no, it doesn't. So what they're doing essentially is they're going to give me a packet of information, and then I take that and I break it down into words and sentences and what they want to tell, and then I give it to you, and then you go, yeah, that makes sense, or no, it doesn't. When you say yes, it does, I go, all right, guys, next one in. And so it like feeds it like that. If you say no, I go, all right, am I not understanding you, or did y'all get it wrong? It's me not understanding them, by the way. They always get it right. So I'm going to, this whole time when I'm quiet, you're gonna see me like moving my eyes and stuff, and it's because I'm asking questions in my head 24/7. Hold on, here we go. What? This is funny. So already right when we get in here, so the guy, this brother type of figure, which is interesting, is already showing up, and he's like, he talks about her. He says, man, did you see that? And I was like, you can't say things like that. Like, it's almost like he's unemotional in a way, in a funny way. And so he's just talking about how, man, that was, and I'm like, you can't, don't be a butt like that. He's talking about how, so I'm going to be asking him what happened to him, how is he, what does he do with you, hold on, what, so that's his first initial jump into my head. What? He's talking about how he gives you strength because you have to be tough for the both of y'all. He says that you're like a lion heart in a way. He goes, man, I gotta give her strength because she has to be tough, you know, for the both of us. I go, I get it. He says that he calls you, I don't want you to think of this in a bad way, he calls you like a hardy woman, like you won't die in a good way. He calls you like, wow. And so I'm like, so I don't know what you've been through, but he's talking about how you weathered the storm. And so, and he's saying like that's from him, and he loves you. And he says that it's interesting, he's been like beside you, and he's talking about at the end when you end up crossing over, he's going to like high five you as you come in, and he comes out like, this guy is right here. He says that he doesn't want you to cry. He doesn't want you to cry. He was he like was he like your best friend, your brother, like actually like what, super close? Yeah. Okay. Oh, that's very unique. Most of the time it's like okay, but it's not. He says, I said, what type of relationship did you have with her? He says, man, that was like my that was, and he puts you and gives you a hug and puts you really, really close. And he's talking about how you I mean, even though this passing has been a little bit, he's talking about how you just really, really miss him and really, really love him and really just want to give him a hug and hold him close and like protect him in every single way possible. And he's just telling you, like, I'm already here. Don't think about that. Okay. He wants you to be here, not there. And he's talking about how, let me get more into this. What's going on? What? It's interesting how like you think about how you should save him or you should help him, and he's talking just like letting you know that he's doing that for you, so you just need to let go. We're going to try to get into what happened with him. Remember, whenever they cross over, they see things from a different point of view, so it may not be as like it's almost like, do you not get it? It's almost like cut and dry, like they have to be tough with you in a good way. So what happened with you, bud? Hang on. Oh, it's almost like he passed in a surprise for some reason, and I don't know why. Because he goes like this. He talks about dying and then going like, oh man, oh, I don't know what happened. Like that's what he says. I don't know exactly what that means yet, but that means number one for me is surprise. He says that one. I don't know if this means he physically fell. He says that last step was a doozy. So this is like a big thing at the end. What happened? You weren't able to like talk to or see to your brother like when he died, like right before? Nothing like that? It was like just that's it with him?
No, I was with them.
You were with him. Oh, okay. He's talking about how you're coming up and the only thing you could do is like grab his hand, but like there's no conversation for some reason, and I have no idea why that would be. So we'll have to figure that out. Hang on. One. I don't know what guilt you have, but you need to let that go. That was like a raging river going through. Let me take that away. Hold on. You just like passed it and let it go. So that's the whole protection thing. This is weird. It almost feels like this is some sort of like crazy accident in a way. But I don't know why, but it's either that or it goes into... He keeps talking about this and then he's out. He talks about that and then he's out. Can't tell me. He keeps putting himself on a breathing machine, but why? He's telling me it's hard to breathe. I don't get it. He keeps talking about chest. He keeps talking about being there. He keeps talking about how it's super, super quick. He keeps talking about it's so fast, it's in a flash. He keeps talking about the guilt part. I don't understand what that is. And so it almost feels like it just smacks me out of my body, but we don't have a vehicle involved. What ended up happening with him?
He had a massive widowmaker heart attack.
So it smacked him out of his body. Yeah. Oh, that's where that comes from. Okay, cool. Yeah, he goes, and I'm like, all right, dude, I don't know. Oh, that's why you're there. That's why he can't talk to you. Because he's dying. He loves you. He loves you. He's going back to that. He goes, I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. He literally made me feel like a car hit me and that you are next to him during this car getting hit. Like that's what that feels like. And it feels like almost like as helpless as if somebody's coming through and you have like a head-on collision and you just watch as everything goes in the air. That's what he's talking about, the feeling of that. And there's nothing anybody can do. And it was interesting because I was like, ain't no way this is a car accident because you just walk out of a house. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. So he's trying to show me all these different things in my head. He, what? He says, I'm fine. Quit your crying. Like he's done with that. He doesn't want anybody to be sad. So what? He's like stubborn enough to where he said if anybody was gonna go this way, he's like, what do you think? He's like, do you think that I would have, just gone like that? He's like, me and like God made a deal that he's like, this is the way that I should have gone, if anything. maybe people were like warning him about his heart or something and he just wasn't listening. Because he says he shows me his heart, he shows me getting red, he shows me blood pressure, he shows me that, and he goes yeah, which means like I'm not listening to it. He says that that's why he was telling her to calm down as well. He's talking about the blood pressure, like allowing her to breathe. He's saying that, tell me. She did not find all of your unmentionables. Stop it. were you were you in charge of like cleaning out his stuff?
Yes. Yeah. And 3 months later, I lost my mother, so I had the entire household to do.
Oh
But yes, I found some very embarrassing things from him.
That's what he just okay. This is what he put sexy things and he put underwear in my head and I go, what? And he says she found my, and I was like, unmentionables, like that's it. And he's like, oh God, like that. He says that I didn't like to put that stuff on display. Hold on. He says when you did that, you took it like a champ, though. Like, it wasn't anything like this. It was like done. So you like grab this, I don't know, whatever this is, like you do it with intention. I want to ask him. He just said, I know the house is probably gone. But he says that, did you end up selling the house, getting rid of it?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. Sorry. He says this. Sorry, I took the cart before the horse. I go, so where's mom? What's going on with mom? He says, me and mom are in the house. I said, oh, okay, so where's the house? What's happening with the house? He says, oh, she sold the house, but we're in our house, which means like they've created their own house in heaven. And the house that you had was sold. So they're recreating this house. Anyways, that's what they do. You kind of like create your own version of heaven and they're there yelling at each other back and forth in a good way, or like he not yelling in a bad way, just like bossing each other around, but he loves the mother for some reason too. He talks about how he makes a joke about how the reason why she died was because she couldn't leave her favorite son. Just saying. He's what was he? Hold on. I want to ask her. Wait. Your brother is talking about, I guess, how your mother wasn't listening to you or something, or she was listening to you, and he says, you're not listening to your daughter, what do you think you're gonna get? And it's almost like he's in another room in this home and he's like yelling at her. I haven't heard her yet, but you can just hear a conversation like what would be through like a living room area. And he had they pretty much like piled up a bunch of crap? Was it like a lot to go through?
He ran a construction company.
Yeah, okay. He's talking about how it would make you sweat to go through it. It's not just like normal everyday things. Yeah. He says that. So that's why he's this tough, burly guy in my head, because he runs this freaking construction company. Hold on. What about her? You didn't drink Red Bulls. Hold on. I don't even know they existed yet. Hold on, let me go back to mom. I'm trying to see if I can get mom. I want to see if I can get him. I want to see if I can make them talk together. Hold on. He just said me and mom are together in the Garden of Eden. That doesn't... do you have them next to each other? Like buried or like urns next to each other or something?
In the same plots, but not right next to each other.
Okay, so they are in a plot. Okay, they are. He put grass and he talks about the Garden of Eden, and so I was like, all right, this is probably a reference to being buried. He's talking about how they talk about where their body is because it's a place for you to have remembrance for them and give them energy. What? I'm having a hard time grabbing mom, and I don't think it's bad. I think your brother is just taking everything over. Um, he says my mom loves her, but my mom was a liability. He he loves this woman. Tell me, hold on, I'm gonna bring her through. Give me a second. Yeah. Your mother, the first thing she brings up in my head is you always having your hair on point, but you always say it doesn't look good, or like it's never on point. Like you always have it in a perfect way, but then when people say it's perfect, you go, oh no, it's not, or not great, or something like that. And she's taught, I don't know, that's so random. And she's talking about how a couple of things that means that you need to enjoy yourself and love yourself more, or something like that. That also means that you have beautiful hair. That's just what I'm going to say. She's talking about complimenting yourself. She says that, tell me what happened with you, Mom. Mom kind of like dawdles around. Where are you at? Was Mom like maybe max like 78 or 81? How old was she?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. I asked her, I go, how old are you? And the way she looks is she feels a lot older than she is. My dad was 86 when he died, and he was still kind of running a mile at that point, and she kind of like sulks around corners and kind of like slowly goes into rooms if she needs to.
She was on oxygen all the time.
Yeah, so she slowly moves places. She kind of scoots. Your brother is funny with her. He's always like, come on, get out here. I need you to get out here and talk to him. Come on. And she's very small in my head. I'm 6 feet tall. She's very little, and she's just moving around, and I'm trying to get her to come out and talk to me right now. What happened? She's done with being alive. She doesn't care about it anymore. She likes to watch the birds, though. The birds are okay. We're okay with the birds. She's just talking about like simply, ooh, hold on. Could she not drink coffee because of her heart or something?
No, she drank coffee all the time.
All the time. Oh, okay.
Now my brother drank tea, not coffee, because of his heart.
Heart. Okay. So he made me smell coffee, and he made me smell it like black and strong, like all the way through, right? Yeah, there's nothing else. And then he says, oh, or somebody says, can't drink the stuff because of my heart. And so I think what's happening is I'm in this house, your mom is making coffee, and he's making a conversation about it, because that's what you do. What? Tell me. He says they have a spot for you, but not yet. So you're gonna be here for a while. What? He's talking about, I'm guessing you were having. See, I don't see you as having that. So why would he do that? Did you have like an ex-husband that was like a butthead?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, sorry. He's talking about making it. I may be way off. He got that one because he puts man and he puts jerk face on it. And I'm like, okay, fine. And then he talks about how maybe it was, these are feelings. He talks about how it was hard for you to get between like the kids and mom, or the kids and him, or the kids and something, like something to do with this guy, and how you're put in this middle situation, or it's difficult, and then how it was, I don't know. And I think he's just discussing and letting you know, like, you did the best you could. It was fine. Nobody's upset about anything. Obviously that's the past, right? But that's what you had to go through to get where you are today. I don't know why he would bring that up besides saying something like that. Or another thing is he's trying to show me like what type of strength and character that you have, and how you were always very concerned about both sides, even though you couldn't always be there, right? It was like a thing between this one, and he sees it. He doesn't like putting any pressure on you. He just likes being a support system for you now, 110%. I feel like even though he was a best friend, he could kind of like get your goat a little little bit. He would like boss you and like put you around. That's what he says. He says that he could lay a good guilt trip on you if he wanted to, and he could like keep it here. And he's talking about, I think that's where this is going. And he says like, I'm sorry for doing that. I'm sorry for being an asshole. And I was like, I don't think you're being a butt. He says that, maybe if you go out to the cemetery more often, you'd feel him and you'd get goosebumps and you'd be able to, I mean, but it makes you sad. So you haven't been out there in a hot second?
I was just there a week ago.
A week ago. Okay. Did you feel anything? Did you get goosebumps?
Every
while you were
time.
there? Every time. Okay. That's your brother, BTW. He talks about, he says, maybe when you go out to the cemetery, he's like, cause I'm always there. He's like, and you get the, and he's like, that's me. And he says, don't be sad. It can make her sad, which means like you just get feelings from it, you know? And he says that, what? Do you like flowers and plants, but you don't like to get your hands dirty, so you don't garden?
I love to garden.
You do love to garden. Okay, this is what he says. Okay, so I got that wrong a little bit. He goes, he shows me flowers and plants and he shows them flourishing and he shows you going, oh my God, this is beautiful. But then he shows me hands with nails with dirt underneath them and you're going, I don't like this. And so for me, that it doesn't make any sense. So that a couple of things would mean maybe I don't like to have my hands dirty, but I love my thing, right? That's how I read it. Hang on. So he's talking about you gardening then. He says that, so you're actually like doing vegetables and stuff like that for gardening? You're not just doing flowers?
Yes, and
okay.
flowers, yeah.
And flowers, okay. He made you say in my head, vegetable. And I'm like, okay, fine. So we're doing both. He says that, what? He says he likes to come in and pop in and be with you in the mornings and in the evenings when you're sitting down. And I guess you put on glasses. And he's talking about how, you don't need LASIK. Have you pondered LASIK? No, weird. He goes like this, he does this, and he talks about seeing. And I said, she sees fine. And then he gave me like a LASIK eye surgery commercial that I saw earlier today. And he talks about how it pops up, but we don't need it. And I'm like, interesting. He says that could also mean that maybe down the line you could have some eye issues or something. Do you know anything about that? What is that about?
My middle daughter has it's too much pressure on her optic nerve and she's actually going blind because of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So, I have nothing for that. That's new for me. Okay. And it's almost like they can't do anything for it. Can they not? They've done shots, but like nothing else. Yeah. Okay. That's why. Hold on. He just said, cut out the eyeball, take it out, pop a false one in, pop it out, scare the kids. He just said something, and I'm like, you can't, that's again, it's like this funny, kind of quirky, kind of mannish personality that shows up. Wait. Weird. He's talking about a surgery that's too risky down the line. Like, it almost feels like there's going to be something that ends up showing up for that in like the next 2.5 or 3 years. But then it's like, oh my God, I think this would be great. I think this is going to be good. We should go for it, but don't do it. Don't do it. I don't know how that would be. He showed, like maybe they're able to go in somehow and relieve that, but it's like if we go and do that this early on, then it would end up causing more issues, like an infection that would lead to like brain damage or like something else that would lead to something. It wouldn't make it would make that better, but it wouldn't make everything else better, if you know what I mean. So I would say that's in like 2.5 years though. So just watch that. Have they talked about anything like that?
Well, her insurance will not approve to put a shunt in. And so she's had to have different things done in the meantime.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So she's still losing vision, but it's unrecoverable, you know.
Yeah, I know. Well, where y'all at? Where y'all at? Are you in Indiana or like near Ohio? Where y'all at?
We're actually on the border of Ohio and Indiana.
Really? Okay. Oh, how cool. Okay, they showed me cornfields and they showed me my favorite restaurant in Ohio. It's in Cincinnati. And okay, interesting.
Yeah, we're between Dayton, Ohio and Richmond, Indiana. We're right on the border.
Oh, how nifty. Okay, cool. Oh, they did a good job with that. Let me know if you need me to yell at anybody. I had a shunt before, and I know all about shunt. I had brain surgery to relieve pressure because my brain was going into my neck. And so I have a nice scar for Chiari malformation. And I used to have CSF fluid leaks out of my nose. And I lost the feeling in my legs, and I was in a wheelchair for 3 years. I know all about that. Yeah. It goes along with my EDS. That was part of my last near-death experience, was that. And so they're putting that. Yeah, I've had 4. And so altogether, yeah, it's crazy. I've had 28 surgeries. I have a long-term chronic illness that makes me die early, like you name it. That's where part of this magic comes from, y'all. It's not just for fun. And so if you need help, like either with doctors or knowing how to go around or yelling at them, let me know, because I would do that professionally. Okay. I'm just a whole thing, because they don't get it, and shunts are very important. It depends also, are they going to be draining it through the stomach, or are they going to be draining? Okay. Mine was here and then it went through the tummy. And so you can do that, but we would need to get that off. The only thing when goes along with a surgery, maybe I have something to do with this. Like, we get it, and it's like we need to, the first doctor maybe we would go to wouldn't do it very well, and we would have an infection from it, which could cause a lot of issues. So maybe we need to go to a doctor out of state to do it. Now that would also go along with insurance. We'll figure that out. But I think that's where he's trying to go with that, because that's like a life or death situation. Okay. So yeah, just email me. Let me know. I know all about shunts. They're terrible, but they work. And it makes you, with the pressure, it makes you feel like your head is falling on the floor all day long. It's terrible.
Yes.
I know. And have we looked at her for Chiari malformation?
I do not know.
Okay, ask about that. This is recorded, or just email me, because that could also be the thing that's also causing pressure. Maybe it's a tumor, maybe it's something like that, but I mean, you probably know that, or it could be this, it's part of a skull deformity. You can't see it on the outside, but as you age, your skull gets tighter and tighter and tighter, so it squeezes your brain, so it causes all this pressure, and you get crazy headaches here and in the back of your head all the time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let me know. Oh, we got the whole thing. Your brother's watching out for her, and your brother's watching out for you. So your mom is there. She's just slinking around. I haven't ever seen a woman that just kind of goes around. Hang on, I want to ask him about you, and then I want to see if you have any questions before I go to my next appointment. Because hold on, brother. Do we not have any kids named after him?
He never had children.
Yeah, okay. He goes, I said, what do you want to talk about? He says, do you know what the whole thing of my legacy is? I said, yeah, what? He says, I don't have any kids named after me. I don't have anything named after me. He's like, there's not. I was like, well, I get it. He was like, so I live on in their memory. I live on right here. And so he's talking about, like, he wants to keep that alive, right? He wants that. He says that, hold on. Ooh, you're like a fresh veggie salad person and stuff like that. You're doing good. So you're trying to like do more healthy or something like that. Maybe that's just because you really like farm to table stuff. He's talking about how, what? Have you ever thought about growing like an orchard? Not a huge one, but like peaches or apples or something like that down the line?
We have them at the farmhouse.
Oh, you have a farmhouse. Oh,
No,
okay.
that's where my mom and my brother.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, he keeps talking about, he goes, man, you should see it. You know what she really loves? He's like, these peaches and these apples. And he keeps showing me these trees. And I'm like, all right, where are they at? So again, they're in this house, right? They've recreated in my mind in heaven, and that's where they're at. So, and he's talking about preserving. I mean, he doesn't do that, but he's talking about putting them in jars and stuff.
We can them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they're doing right now. So you live your life, you have a good time. They're canning fruit and messing with stuff right now. It's an overlay. It's an overlay. This is not the end of your life. And if I ever taught you to channel, or if you ever got into it, or just like getting into that place where you settle into your own and you connect with God and source, and you feel this because they're there, and it's so bright and it's so vivid and it's so fun, and it's nothing like here. And when you come back and you get in this reality, you realize it's very boring, but you have to be here for a little bit. Okay. So, and you have to love and enjoy and take care of and be sweet and be calm whenever others need it the most, right? Because you are the pillar of stability. Okay. So I need you to do that. And he's going to be there with you. They're always going to support you. So what I want you to do right now in closing, and then also I need you to do this on a daily basis. First thing I want you to do when we get off, I want you to take a couple of minutes. I want you to go to your room or to a bathroom privately, and I want you to either have a good breather or a good ugly cry. You can do it with your daughter too. Both of those. But it's like, because your brother brings this energy about him. He's massive in a good way. The next thing I want you to do is I need you to light a candle for them somehow. You just get a candle, you light it, and you say, I'm doing this in honor of you. I'm doing this in honor of you. And what that is that's creating intention, that's creating thought, and that's creating mindfulness and gratitude. And that translates as well. Okay, that's big. The next thing too is that every day or every evening, I already know you do this, but in your head, I want you to say, thank you, I love you, and please continue to watch over us. That's it. They will, because they're right there. Okay. Yeah. Do you have any questions for me at all?
No, I can't think of anything.
Okay. Well, if you do, email me. Let me know about the head thing too. Like I said, I'm a ninja. I fought that for 6 years, so I know how that goes.
Yeah, that one is. And then the one that you saw, Stephanie, is just had a double mastectomy. So she's dealing with cancer right now.
Well, do you want to look into that? Hang on before I go. Give me a second. Hold on. She's not gotten a hysterectomy?
Oh, yes. They all three of my daughters.
Good. Perfect. Good. I was like, if they haven't, they need to do it. I got one, and it's the best thing in the entire world. Hold on. Oh. He says, she's not out of the woods yet, kid. Just like that. And I go, okay. Hold on. Are they still putting her on treatment after this for a little bit?
She carries the PALB2, so she's fighting 3 different mutations.
Okay. Okay. He says that, I said, what's up with the mastectomy? What's going on with that? He says, we're not out of the woods yet. And I said, well, what do you mean by that? And he shows me like down the line. And I just want y'all, I've seen this once before, and this is what they're bringing up. I know we had the double mastectomy. I know that's going okay, and the hormones are out. But I just want y'all to be her to pay really close attention to like the right side, closer to one of the ribs. And if she starts to feel any type of pain outside of surgical, outside of swelling out, then I'm talking about like 2 years from now, like 2.5 years from now, 3 years from now. No, 1.5 to 2 years. I want her to go in and get that checked. It feels like at one point there will be like squamous cells of cancer, which means like beginning stages of it like that. But if we go in there and we carve it out, we're okay.
Okay.
So it just means that what this is, when this comes in, when they talk about this, This means we need to be aware, and we don't need to say, oh, this is hurting me. I'm going to wait for a couple weeks and see if it goes away. This means this is making me feel uncomfortable and I need to go take my ass to the doctor and go get it looked at, instead of just saying, oh, well, I got all this done. It's fine. And then it continues on. That's all this is. There's no death. There's no dying. There's no we're gone in 5 years. It's just keep alive. Okay? Okay. All right. If you need me, let me know. Email me that. Okay. If you need me to yell at anybody, I love doing that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Anytime, honey. Go tell them you love them. Got it?
Every day.
All right. I love you.
You have a blessed day.
You too, honey. Bye, baby.